Reddit story, my ex-wife and I kept living together after our divorce. Then everything changed. Part 2. Most people thought my story ended when Emma moved out. It didn't. The house became painfully quiet after she left. For months we'd shared the same roof as divorced roommates, and somehow that felt less lonely than living there by myself. I started noticing the little things I'd taken for granted. The coffee she'd leave in the pot because she knew I always overslept. The grocery list she'd stick on the fridge. The way she'd hum while making dinner. Those little habits had annoyed me for years. Now I'd have given anything to hear them again. We still met every couple of weeks, usually for coffee or dinner. There was no romance, and no talk about getting back together. We were simply two people finally having the conversations we should have had years earlier. One evening, Emma asked, "Do you know what actually ruined our marriage?" I expected her to mention money or work, but she shook her head. It wasn't the arguments. It was everything we never said. She was right. Whenever I had a bad day, I'd bury myself in work. Whenever she felt ignored, she'd pretend everything was fine. Neither of us wanted to start a fight, so we stayed silent. That silence slowly became the third person in our marriage. For the first time since our divorce, neither of us blamed the other. A week later, I got a call from someone I hadn't spoken to in almost 10 years. Rachel. We'd been close friends in college. Everyone thought we'd end up together, but life had other plans. She moved overseas while I met Emma. Now she was back in town for work. We met for lunch to catch up. The conversation flowed effortlessly. We laughed about old memories and embarrassing college stories. It felt good, not because I was falling for her, but because for the first time in a long while, I wasn't thinking about my failed marriage. Over the next month, we met a few more times. Rachel was honest in a way I wasn't used to. "If something bothers me," she said one evening, "I say it before it grows into resentment." I smiled. I wish I'd learned that years ago. She looked at me, still thinking about Emma. I nodded. "I don't miss the marriage. I miss the friendship we forgot to protect." Rachel replied quietly, "The strongest couples aren't the ones who never argue. They're the ones who never stop talking." Her words stayed with me. A few days later, Emma called. Not a text, an actual phone call. "I heard you've been spending time with someone. Word travels fast in our town." "It's just an old friend," I answered. There was a pause. "I'm glad," she replied, but her voice sounded anything but glad. We met for coffee that weekend. She smiled, but it looked forced. Halfway through, she asked, "Are you happy?" I thought for a moment. "I'm trying to be." She looked down at her cup. "I always thought divorce would make moving on easier." "Did it?" She shook her head. "No, it just made me realize I still remember exactly how you like your coffee." Neither of us knew what to say after that. As we walked outside, heavy rain suddenly started pouring. We squeezed under the tiny cafe awning, laughing as the wind soaked our shoes. For a few seconds, it felt like we were back in the early days of our relationship. Then my phone rang. "Rachel." Emma glanced at the screen. "You should answer," she said softly. "It can wait," I replied. She smiled sadly. "You spent too many years putting your feelings aside. Don't do that anymore." Before I could stop her, she walked into the rain without looking back. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept wondering why watching her leave hurt more than signing the divorce papers. The next morning, while cleaning the attic, I found an old photo album. Inside was a sealed envelope with my name written in Emma's handwriting. The date made my heart stop. She had written it 3 days before we filed for divorce, and somehow I had never seen it before.